All right, everyone, this is MobileGamerNerd, and we are back with another Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play mystery shard only video. Today, we're going to be talking about things to consider when actually attempting to do what I am doing. And what I am doing is only summoning mystery shards. So I know a lot of people will watch these videos and be like, "Oh, I want to try that." Just so you know, it's definitely a little more time consuming than one might hope, and, if you think the game is hard, then, yeah, this might be one of those challenges that might be a lot. So, I would say if you are considering doing this, alright, and you wanna just play with mystery shards, what I would say is play the game normally first, all right? And I did this at least 5 or 6 times. I started numerous accounts. So, and everyone who's been watching this channel for a while kind of knows all this, but this is for like newer subscribers as well. I want people to really understand what I'm doing and how I did it. But it is time consuming and you will be spending a lot of time building heroes that you may not use a lot in the end game. I mean, you may end up building them because you're going to need them though to get to the heroes that will get you to the end game. So, it's a little bit weird, it's a little bit strange, but we'll kind of just do an overview, show you what I've done, how I've done it, and just some things to think about, just so you know. All right, so a couple things to know about this situation and the way we do it. It takes a lot of willpower in the beginning. Where I'm at now, it takes 0 willpower. Like, I just don't give a crap anymore. But in the beginning, you're gonna look and honestly, I've actually funny enough story, I don't think I've ever told anyone this. I attempted to do this probably twice already before I actually did this exact account. So I attempted to do it, and then within like a month or so, I was like, let me just see what happens if I pull these shards. And I just pulled them and I ruined the account. Now, that's something that I went through a couple times. That was before I was even considering making a video about this account. So I tried it a few times, and then I was like, I'll just see if I'll just save my ancient shards for a little bit. And I got to like a month, and then I would pull an ancient shard, and I'm like, and then I would get mad at myself, and then turn the game off and quit for another month. So it was something that like it took a little while for me to really get to the point where I was so focused on building the heroes that I was getting from like campaign and all that stuff to the point where I was like, you know what, this is working and I would really like to continue this. So, yeah, that's where we're at now. So, every time you see somebody in the comments say, "Hey, when are you going to pull your shards?" The answer is never. All right. The answer is never. It's not going to happen. I honestly, unless I gave this account away, I said I would possibly do like a YOLO and just summon everything, but I don't even think I would want to do that. Like, this account is so like, it's literally a year and now what, almost 3 months of my life that I can't get back. So for me to pull any of these basically destroys everything even if I just went here right now and just clicked one and pulled one and then fed it to someone, still ruins it for me. All right. It ruins it for me and it makes it not good. So but yeah, I would never do it. But you will, is what I'm saying. Something to think about. You will be tempted in the first. I'm going to say it took me about 3 months before I was finally at the point where I was like, you know what? This is a lot more fun than I thought it was gonna be, and I started getting because the whole point of ancient shards in the beginning, or really in the game in general, is because they want you to want more heroes. They want you to be like, "You don't have enough heroes to do this," and that's kinda where I'm at now. I'm like, "I don't need those. I have so many freaking heroes at this point that me pulling even 100 of those ancient shards isn't going to probably progress my account much further than it already is." So I'm like at that point where I'm like, does it really matter if I get that, whatever legendary from ancient? I can't put books into it. You know what I mean? I'm working on my other heroes, and none of these are really going to do much for me. So after a while, and then you get used to your kind of grind. So just know that it will take you about a month or so to really buy in the beginning, you're gonna be like, "This is stupid. I'm not gonna do it." Because I went through it too. I went through it. I swear I did. I hated it. I was just like, "This is gonna be bad," and I just pushed through that first month. And once I started making the videos about this, I think that also helped. So if you are, a YouTuber trying to do something like that, or you want to do like a progression thing, it does help to do something with your account other than you just playing it. Because if you're just playing it, it's gonna be it's gonna be a lot easier for you to just be like, who the hell cares? You know what I mean? So if there's something you're doing or just like trying to show something to somebody, even just kind of recording here and there, then that will help. But if you're not doing that, it might be a little bit harder because, like I said, no one's watching you. So you can technically cheat. If you had, say, like you did this for 6 months and you pulled 5 ancient shards, and you just happen to have a couple heroes that you shouldn't have had. In the long run, is it really going to matter? Probably not. But you're going to know in the background of your head that you pulled all those shards, and you're going to be upset. So just know it will take a little bit of time. Two, another thing to consider: it takes a while to build things. All right, and honestly, early game is easy in this game. Like the really early game, we're talking like campaign through brutal. All right, really super easy. The game is a joke, actually. Like once you actually have played the game a few times, which is what I was saying before, I recommend that you have at least played the game once with summoning heroes for a couple of months before you actually decide to do a mystery shard only run. Uh, because you need to understand the game. If you don't understand the game, this run through can be extremely difficult and to the point where you'll probably quit because you just don't get it. One of the things that I did in the beginning of the game when I started doing it like this is that I picked my main hero, Kale, because I was like, I need him for a clan boss. He's great for dungeons. He can beat a lot of the dragon. Like dragon was the most important thing in the beginning because it has the best gear sets. So when you farm it, you're like, all right, cool. I have somebody who can kind of take that dragon down pretty quickly. And Kale is that guy. Right off the bat, you got him. And then I was like, let's just farm some heroes from the campaign and see how far I can get them. I was like, let me see what they can do if they're maxed. Because I never got heroes to level 60. I had like 3 heroes that were level 60, and then I had a vault full of level 50s and garbage that I wasn't using. So it was all just sitting there, and then I had no idea where to go next. So what I did is I did each hero one by one. So you build them all to 60. And yeah, it takes time. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, it takes forever. I feel like I'm not progressing. I'm like, that's how it feels. The beginning of this game is the worst part and the best part. It's easy to progress, but it's also hard to be like, all right, I want to progress into something more like Doom Tower. All right. You're going to get stuck there. I mean, I got stuck there. I mean, you can go back and watch my videos. I know we got stuck at Scarab King for at least a rotation, like a full rotation, because he only pops up in. Does he pull up in one or two? I don't remember if he's in one or two of the rotations, but I literally had to wait like 2 months to beat Scarab King because I got to him and I just didn't have the heroes to do it. I didn't have anyone that could beat him, and it sucked. And I was like, this is terrible because now I got to wait another month or two in order to actually even attempt to fight him again. So you are going to get a lot of spots that you're going to get stuck in. Spider 15 was another one. I've said this a couple times. We got stuck on stage 15 for over a month. It was horrible because I just didn't know how to beat it. I had no idea. I was doing research. I was playing with each hero. Like it took a very long time, and even watching my videos might still not get you through it in a timely manner. Like even knowing what you're supposed to do doesn't mean you understand how to do it. And that's the thing that I've been trying to do with this channel is really explaining why I'm doing the things I'm doing, not necessarily just saying, "Hey, this is this hero you need to beat it and you can win if you just put this on them." It's not like that. We're kind of like explaining the fight a little bit more and explaining why what we're doing works. And I think if once you understand those things, you'll have a much easier time with the mystery shard only run through. But yeah, definitely consider the fact that you will be doing a lot of farming. And I mean a ton of, I mean, I'm farming now. Literally all I do, I don't farm any gear. Like I just don't. It's just not something I do. If I were to play this game 10 hours a day, I don't. But I'm just saying I'm using 10 because it's an easy percentage. I really only play for maybe like 2 or 3 hours. Um, and that's if I'm lucky. On a crap day, I basically log in, do my dailies, and then shut it off and go to bed. So campaign, I spend almost all of my time here in 12.3. All right. Reason being is that I get a ton of silver. I get a bunch of food leveled, and it's the best experience. So I can just build up my heroes and constantly have food. I mean, we literally just, if you watch my video from Monday, we just did it. We just got Ryan right here. Boom, boom, boom. We just got Ryan to 60 in a video. Literally in 3 seconds, we just well, not 3 seconds, maybe like 5 minutes. Got her to level 60, got her some gear. We gave her all her skills, and we didn't do her masters obviously, but I could buy them right now, but I'm not going to. But yeah, we got her all level 12 gear, and she's ascended, and she's doing great. And I was able to do that because I'm constantly farming. Like, look in my vault. Immediately, I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more heroes ready to go to become 5 stars to make my next 6 star. So that is literally all I'm doing. I mean, look in here. I've got all of my heroes here that I'm working on. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I had 4 that I used for Ryan. So there's 6 there, and I'm constantly doing that. I'm constantly gaining more shards for the mystery shards because you have to get shards. You're going to run. I mean, look at me now. I have 4 in my vault. because I've been constantly farming. And look at all these 3 stars. This is what I do with my time. I'm constantly doing this. If I have an EXP boost, I am doing this. Like that's basically it. Unless there's something that distracts me, like some kind of event that I need to do for something specific that I want, or if there is a hero that I need a specific gear for, I may stop for a few minutes and go farm that real quick just to get something on them. But other than that, this is my life. Like this is what I do. And the funny thing is I like doing it. I actually enjoy just grinding levels and building my heroes to 60. And if you don't like that, this is definitely not a run for you. I mean, technically it's not a game for you, but if you don't like grinding out heroes to 60, like this is where you're going to have the most help. And I've said this before, it's like I think the reason that I've been so successful in this game is because I don't focus on trying to max one hero to like the upper limits. I do max them, like I get 60, I get their masteries done, I get their skills maxed, and I get their gear maxed, and I get their glyphs maxed, and I do all of that, but that's kind of where it stops. I'll upgrade here and there, but I'm not going to spend I'm not going to go back and be like, "Hey, my kale isn't perfect." All right? I'm not going to spend 6 weeks or a month just building up kale to have like the perfect set. I'm not going to grind dragon for a month straight just to get gear so that he can be like perfect. That doesn't help me as much as building another 2 or 3 heroes because I can get one if I really push. I can get one, possibly even maybe 1 or 2 extra a month. So I can get about 4 to 6 level 60s a month if I really push. All right. And that helps me more. It helps me in faction wars. It gets me some resources from there. It helps me figure out puzzles in like other areas. It helps me bring in like I just brought in a Veer and he's cool. Here, let's close this. We don't need this. I've just brought in a Veer and he's been helping me a lot in some of the dungeons. He's also really good in Hydra. He's good as a secondary team. He's good in the Dragon. We were using him and we were able to beat Dragon hard mode with him. There was a video we just did on that, and he was on my main team that I beat it with in 6 minutes and 49 seconds. And right now we're trying to get through and get our time down on it. But you never know when another hero is going to come in and just do something that you didn't even realize you needed. And yeah, I mean, I have like Ryan is a perfect example. We just talked about her, and I have 0 heroes that can strip buffs off an entire wave. Guess what? I now have a hero that can strip buffs off an entire wave. So building these lower end heroes is going to be a lot of time. So you need to consider that you will be putting a lot of time into only hero building. Like that's basically what this game is. So, and I don't think that's much different than playing normally, but you're really going to have to invest in these guys. Like it's not like you can't just be like, "Oh, maybe Myrmidon is good." Like you have to basically pick someone and be like, "All right, this is the dude I'm doing and I'm going to finish him to 60, and if I use him, I use him, and if I don't, I don't." I've YOLO'd a lot of heroes in this game. I mean, Diablos has become basically someone I never use. And she was the starting 5. She's awesome in the beginning, and she's still good. I just don't use her because I haven't found a new place for her in the new content that I'm doing. All right, we could put her in a stun set, and yeah, she'll help me out in hard mode Doom Tower for boss fights and for wave clearing. You can put her in a stun set, and she'll just stun everything. Yeah, great. I just haven't had time to do it, and it hasn't come up yet because I don't really do it yet. I will be there eventually. So then maybe Diablos comes back and takes, and jumps again. And that's the kind of stuff you need to think about. And I've said this even 100 times. Crimson Slayer is literally, she's crazy. Like, I can't believe how good this freaking random ass rare is that I used to think sucked. And she's awesome. But I built her in the beginning and she sucked. And I was like, what the hell's wrong with this character? They're terrible. And then I got her built up. She ended up going to my spider team and she ended up going to my Fire Knight team, and now she's awesome. And then she fell off again. And I stopped using her because we got heroes like your Carl. And look at this. I mean, we've got who we got here now. Like we've got your Carl, we've got Yannico, we've got Visix. All these heroes have turn meter reduction things that can help in the Fire Knight, and Syl and all these other heroes. And then Crimson Slayer fell off. And then we went back into Fire Knight again and did a video which you can look up. It's how to beat the Fire Knight 25 without the boss ever getting a turn. And guess who's on that team? Crimson Slayer. Literally replaced a hero that I thought was going to do really well in there, and I put Crimson Slayer in there, and boom, we got it. Finally, it took me a couple tries to make it work, and a couple run throughs. I actually tried to do a video on it a week earlier, and I couldn't get it to work while I was doing the video, and I got mad. So then I came back out, and I was like, "What the hell's the problem here?" And I was like, let me try Crimson Slayer instead of Armiger, and I put her in, and immediately 0 turns on the boss, and we got it through. So don't think that any heroes that you're going to build are not going to be good later on. All right. They are going to be good later on, possibly. And even a crap hero, like, look at this guy. I have a Twin Claw Disciple. Like, literally, I have a level 60 12 Twin Claw Disciple. I spent time building this nerd. The Guardians of the Galaxy that someone commented. I spent time building this nerd. And guess what? I'm going to use them. And so far, funny enough, dude puts up numbers like, and I don't even have him in a really, really amazing set. We have him in kind of toasty stuff, like just kind of stuff he's coasting on. He's got what 4,200 attack. He's got reasonable crit damage at 200, and he's actually not bad. I like him in the orc faction crypt, and I just need another support orc. Yeah, go ahead, say that 10 times fast. I just need another support orc, and I think we can start moving forward. But I only have 3 level 60 orcs. So we've got him, we've got Galek, and we've got Totem. So we need some healing and support stuff. But otherwise, he's going to be probably really good against the boss. I actually am very excited to hopefully see him on my final team in 21. And I know that sounds weird, but we did beat Bannerlords with Myrmidon and Riskarm. 2 heroes that no one is talking about. Literally, no one is talking about them. So you need to be the one that starts talking about these heroes when you play like this. If you're going to do mystery shards only, you're going to have to dig in deep and really start reading up on hero skills. You need to see what skills they have, what sets they need, what you need to be able to do things. Like if you want this stun to go off on his A1, you need him to have accuracy. If you need him to be shielding and buffing more often, then this dude needs to have speed. If you need him to do this counterattack and other stuff, yeah, you're going to need him to be fast because you want him to constantly be doing it. So you need to be able to decipher between skills, which means you're going to have to read. All right, you're going to have to read boss descriptions. How many of you actually do this? Go in here, like I'm guilty of it myself. Oh, I don't want that. Let's go into Doom Tower. All right. Here's the problem that I see a lot. People are going to go in here and be like, I can't beat Scarab King and it's tough and yada, 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 and all this stuff. But did you actually go in here and look at the boss guide? I actually did this on a couple of my videos while I was doing stuff. I'm like, I need to read the boss description because honestly, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. And this was in the first like 6-7 months. And now I kind of know what most of the bosses are about. I just need to figure out how to counter some of the stuff. But other than that, we beat normal Doom Tower on every rotation now easily. Like it's not even like it's hard anymore. I just put it on auto and then fight the boss when the auto's done. So come in here and make sure you're going to have to do some reading. You're going to have to read these descriptions. And a lot of this stuff is going to translate to somebody who doesn't do mystery shards. But this is going to be harder for you because you can't use that legendary that everybody said is a game changer. You're not going to have those heroes that are going to come in here and be like, and basically just negate the boss's tactics. You're going to have to figure out sometimes how 2 or even 3 heroes can kind of combine together to create the legendary that does the thing that you need to do. So that's something to think about. It's going to be hard. And this is why it's hard. It's not impossible because obviously we've gotten pretty far. But yeah, this is a fight that now we can, here, we'll just fight it real quick. Why not while we're doing this, while we're talking? So like we figured out that there's a bunch of heroes in here that can do basically anything you need them to do. Scarab King, and everyone's like, oh, you need this hero for Scarab King. Like, you might need them later on in hard mode, but normal Doom Tower, you don't need any of that. You just need heroes that can do the job, and that's basically what these guys are doing. And then eventually you're going to be farming 6-star gear for, probably 7 months straight just to start pushing forward in hard mode. But yeah, eventually we're going to be doing gear farming, but I don't do it now. But just having these heroes from pulling summons and from building them all to 60 got me through this. Because eventually we got to the point where I was like, okay, I understand the fight. Now what do I do? Now I got to go figure out who can beat it. So we got Jizzo in a HP destroy gear. All right. So he was able to beat it for me. And then we found Outrider, who also has HP destroy in his kit. And then we found out that Dark Alhain actually has HP destroy in her kit. So we brought her in. Odachi, we put in a HP destroy gear, I believe. So now we've got him because he can put up shields. And then we've got Valor who does shields. So she's basically our healer slash shielder. And then we ended up finding out that I now have Soulbond Boyer, who also has HP destroy in her kit. So now we can use her, and she has an HP max destroy, an HP max HP attack as well. So she'll be stronger the more I use her in later content, which is basically Armiger. All right. So that's the kind of stuff you need to be looking at and see who's going to be your next hero. Who's the next one that can beat these fights? And granted, this was the easiest fight of Scarab King. I get it. We just unlocked a new turn. Unfortunately, I can't go show you the highest turn with this team. But That's the kind of stuff you have to look at, and you're going to have to constantly fine tune your team because there was times that even now, I kind of forget which teams I use for which bosses. Uh, Using your team setup helps with that, but there's a lot of times that I'll go a month or two and be like, oh, I forgot how to beat this boss. But it's not as bad anymore because now my heroes are more powerful because I've been moving forward and getting everything. Another thing to consider if you're doing a mystery shard only thing is this guardian ring and faction guardians is super important. All right, you need to have these filled in. All right, it's going to give you every little thing you do in this game is going to give you a little bit more power. And 10% HP attack and defense is nothing to joke about. 3 speed is honestly, it sounds dumb, but 3 speed is 3 speed. That's 3 speed across the board for this entire faction. All right. It's not just one person's 3 speed faster. 3 speed could be enough to get you another turn. So don't think that that's nothing. And accuracy and resist are never bad. You can't go wrong with either one. So having these filled in for your rares is definitely a big deal. You're probably never going to fill in these unless you really wanted to do raisin. You could do a couple of those fusions, but then it'll take you 10 years. So good luck with that. Have fun unless you just get really lucky with the pulls. But I will probably never fill in any of these epics probably ever. So all my rares are the ones that matter. All right, that's another thing to consider. You are going to have to do this for a lot. Look at this. All mine are done except for one. I think, yeah, Shadowkin is the only one I haven't filled in yet. All right, that's the reason that I'm able to get that. Another thing is stat boots. Wow, I'm a mess. Another thing is blessings. You need to make sure you have all of your blessings on all of your heroes, regardless of what you're doing. And you need to go into the shop and make sure you come over here and just buy all your rares. All right, I would actually buy this right now if I had 12 coins. There's actually 5 coins, I think, in one of the tournaments. We might do that. I kind of want a 3-star Galek. But yeah, I buy all my stuff in here and make sure all my rares have their blessings. That gives you a nice little attack boost at 2-star. You get 300 attack. In here, if you're not fighting in the arena, you're going to have to fight in the arena. And this goes for everything. Like, you need these stats. These stats are not something that's like a joke. Like, look at this 20% attack. We've got almost 80 extra accuracy on 2 of these. All right. So that's a big deal. Like, 80 accuracy on a hero, your average hero accuracy is going to push around 2 to 250 at best. That's like on a good day. And if you have this, that pushes you up to like that 300 plus range. So now I have heroes that are like 360, somewhere between 3 and 360. It's a big difference. That's enough for you to push through and make sure your accuracy is good enough on these heroes so that you can push through some of the higher dungeons like 20 to 25. A lot of this stuff wouldn't be possible early game if you didn't have these extra stats here. So getting the extra stats in defense and attack and all this other stuff and crit damage, it's very helpful. Resistance is going to be the next one after we do accuracy. I'm kind of all over the place. Whether I would recommend doing that for yourselves, that's up to you. But I'm right now I'm pushing on the quests, which is why we are now getting a few of these to 10. And I chose Spirit and Magic because of Clan Boss. That's mainly why. Those are my main team heroes, are Spirit and Magic. So I don't have a lot of Force heroes. So there's no reason to really push a lot on here. So that's why we're doing that. But yeah, you're going to have to do these things because it really does help. And if you're really into Arena, you could do this. So I'm going against what I said, but I don't care about Arena in what is it? What do they call it? Infinite? I don't even know what they call it. They call it Crap Arena, Live Arena, whatever it's called. You do get a lot of stuff in here for areas that are kind of rough. So if you're having trouble in Hydra or Demon Lord, you could get a lot of good stats here to help build up your power. I, on the other hand, don't like Live Arena. I actually can't stand it. There's way too many arenas in this game already, and yeah, 2 is more than enough for me, and I don't need to do it anymore. So that's why I literally do 0 Live Arena. I don't touch it. I don't go in it. I don't care about it. And you can do the same if you like, but just know that if you do it, you will have a great time with getting extra bonuses here. And that will really help your account if you're having trouble. All right, so that's that. Couple things to consider is that everything takes a lot longer. Like everything takes longer. You are going to be fighting yourself on what heroes to do. You're going to find yourself in the index a lot. You're going to be coming in here and going down to this rare tab, which is where you're going to spend most of your time in this run. And you're going to be clicking through heroes and being like, all right, so what does this guy do? He does 1 hit, garbage. He does extra turn, who cares? 1 target, Yeah, we don't like that. Well, not one target, but he does have a stun and decreased speed. So you have to kind of find the good in even a dork like crossbow man. That's something you're going to have to consider. Is Crossbow Man someone I'm going to build? Well, I don't have to right now because I beat Bannerlord's faction. So, do I need to build him right now? No. Will I build him eventually? Yeah. We'll see how good he is, but more than likely he's garbage. You're going to have to be able to decipher between the bad and the good. Valerie's awesome. I mean, she's basically one of the best heroes in the game at this point, for as far as I'm concerned. Uh, I couldn't imagine this game. I couldn't have gotten as far in this game as I have without Valerie. Let's put it that way. That's how good she is. She is that good, and she is still that good. I can't believe that I'm using her as much as I do. Grandmaster is literally the best hero in the game. I'm just kidding. I really don't even know it. He attacks one enemy 3 times. So there you go, Fire Knight. He's got a decreased attack debuff, which is nice for any boss. And you've got a provoke, which is also good for waves. But unless you're doing Magma Dragon, it's usually not as important. Later on, Hydra, it's important, and also in some of the higher end Doom Tower stuff, it might be important. I don't know if it's important, but it's useful unless you have somebody who can do freeze and stun, in which case those usually work just as well. Provoke is obviously, it means that they have to attack you. So unless you have someone who's built in counterattack, provoke is usually not the best option unless it's part of the mechanic of the fight, like hence Magma Dragon. Yep, but there we go. That's him. But yeah, you're gonna have to go through each person. Myrmidon, most people would look at this guy and be like, whatever. Like he has an attack that it provokes. All right, he attacks all enemies and decreases the attack, and he has an ally protection and places a continuous heal buff on himself. So nothing crazy, nothing like insanely good, but funny enough, this guy is awesome. He is one of my favorite heroes now, and we use him in faction wars, and we beat stage 21 with him. So he's awesome, and I really just built him on a whim because I was like, let me get him to 40. I got him to 40, and I started liking him. I'm like, why is this dude so good? I'm like, he's actually putting up numbers, and I was kind of surprised by him. And yeah, that's just how the Myrmidon story began. And same thing with Risk Arm. It just happened. I found him. This girl, Miss Cord, she's pretty good too. I just haven't built her yet. She has a decreased speed, which is good for a lot of different things. She fills turn meter for each living enemy, so if she doesn't kill something, which I don't know if that's a good skill, you kind of want them dead, but hey, you never know. And then places a counterattack buff. What is this for 25 on this buff for 2 turns, whatever. All right, so who cares about that? But this one, like when you think about it, you have to stop and think about skills. So attacks all enemies, fills this champion's turn meter by 5% for each living enemy. So what does that mean? Like, is that good in waves? I mean, I guess you kill what is it? You kill there's 4 or 5 enemies in a fight, right? So you can get a 20% turn meter fill. Now, I haven't tested this out, and I don't know if it works, but let's think outside the box. Where do you attack that many enemies where this would become useful? Maybe Spider. So now maybe you put her in a stun set, and she's hitting all the spiders at once. She stuns them, right? And then all of a sudden, now you have a powerful enemy. I mean, a powerful hero. Because now she's going to refill, let's say there's like 10 spiders up. Now you're getting 50% turn meter increase, right? And you're stunning them, and you're going to get another turn basically pretty quickly. So those are the kind of things you have to really think about when you are doing this kind of Mr. Richard run, because these are the types of things that are going to get you through fights, and really analyzing every hero in the game that you have, and you're going to have to find a way to make it work and make somebody beat beat content. Um, I mean, I've shown it numerous times in the Spider where I couldn't believe that we got it to work with the heroes that we did. You know what I mean? And you can go back and watch my Spider videos. I have a Spider 1 to 20 tutorial overview guide, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, you can see my progression in the Spider, and that's basically how we did it. We just constantly switched around, constantly looked at skills. I built Haikatoon thinking it was going to be the answer for what I needed, and it wasn't. But now it is, which is crazy. But yeah, I got through it, and that's what matters. Risk Arm, like I said, this guy doesn't look good on paper. He's got a stun, he has a shield, and he counterattack. You know, but he does have increased defense on everybody, and he does hit everybody when he does this with the shield. So those are the things you got to think about. He does AOE's, which is really good. AOE heroes are awesome. Um, and you're going to need at least 1 or 2 heroes that are single target that just put up numbers. Quester, this guy I actually have built a little, but he's what is it? Increases crit damage if he has less than 50% HP, which is kind of nice, I guess. We don't want that, but yeah, there's no way to control having less HP, but there's a way to control having more HP. Attacks one enemy, places 15% crit damage buff on all allies. That's kind of cool if the attack's critical. So, I mean, 15% extra crit damage is nothing to laugh at. So that could be something that's good. And then here, removing 2 random buffs. So there you go. This could be, even though the kit sucks technically, this could be what you build him for. This could be the one thing. I mean, you might have a fight where it's literally you're just taking one thing that a hero does and making it useful. And that could be this, removing 2 random buffs from the target. You could use this on the potion keep if you're having trouble there with the shields. I honestly don't even remember it anymore. We kind of just, I don't farm him anymore. We just have enough potions. It just happens eventually. You're just like, oh, I don't need potions anymore. That's great. But yeah, there you go. We don't, that could be the thing. And there's a lot of heroes with like, what do we got? Valkyrie, you got unkillables, you've got this could be good in the arena. I mean, there's things that you can use him as a counter for anybody that has a buff that does unkillable. That could be your counter. Bring him in with your awesomely powerful team, and there you go. You now have a new way to get more medals in the arena. And the more fights you learn to beat, the more medals you get, and then the more you can get stats. So you are going to have to think a lot when it comes to doing things in this game. And once again, all this stuff really goes for both sides, but really, really for mystery shards, you're gonna have to start looking at rares and being like, what the hell does this guy do? Why do I have him? You're also gonna have to have some patience because you shouldn't be feeding heroes to other heroes until they're maxed. You should be keeping every hero you get. And I wish I could say that was something that I listened to in the beginning. I did feed a barbarian in the beginning, and I think one or two other heroes, but it was just to get my main team set up, and then after that, I stopped. So immediately stopped it. But where is that guy? This dude, Elder, sucks. This guy is a terrible hero. I've hated him since the beginning of time, and yeah, now I have him again. So I do have him. I did pull him again, but yeah, I fed him to one of my heroes to get him to 4-star, and that was it. But this guy's kind of trash, and he sucks, and I would not recommend building him at all, especially in Barbarian, because there's so many better barbarians than him. So many better, like hundreds, and two of them are free. So yeah, actually 3 of them are free. Yeah, there you go. Even better. So yeah, I wouldn't build him. You're also gonna have to not just build heroes. I don't have Hill Nomad. I kind of want her though. Like, I'm missing her. What does she do? Attacks, decrease attacks. That's good. Continuous heal buff on one ally, which sucks. Places a veil, 25% attack, blah 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 blah. Shield on this chick. This is a weird hero, but hey, you never know. Let's see what people say about her. Yeah, they hate her. Yeah, I'm not that dumb. I'm not gonna build her probably. At least soon, we're not going to build her. We will build her eventually. Hill Nomad. We'll have the best Hill Nomad in the game. That's my goal, is to have the best of the worst heroes. But yeah, that's kind of what you're going to be having to do all the time, is just constantly looking at new heroes and not getting rid of them all. I have all of the heroes in my vault. Like I said, I showed you those, but then I've got all of these. We kept them all, and I've just been slowly building them as I go. I don't focus on it, but every once in a while I'll stop and pull, 3 level 40s out and get them to 5-star, and then just get them to level 50 and put them back in the vault. And eventually they're ready for getting to level 60. And this is the only hero I haven't gotten to 40 actually yet. I just pulled her out. I haven't had time to level her yet. I just forgot she was there. But yeah, you're gonna need all these heroes, and it's gonna be tough. So just know that there's a lot of work that goes into mystery shards, and you're definitely going to have a different opinion on the game. All right, you're going to have to really look at the game like, I don't really care about fusions, I don't care about events, and you're going to really have to have that attitude, because a lot of that stuff is going to hold you back really, really far if you're trying to do a bunch of stuff while doing only mystery shards. Now, eventually it gets easier. Like, I mean, I have a bunch of legendaries now. We're beating content pretty easily. We've gotten through all the hard modes. I mean, we've gotten to hard mode on all the dungeons except for Ice Golem, and that's just because I'm lazy and I don't feel like doing it because the fights are long. But other than that, yeah, I mean, we're doing good. We beat all the Doom Tower rotations on normal, and it's been a great experience. And I would highly recommend trying it for any of you older folk out there who've been playing Raid Shadow Legends for a while, and maybe the game is getting stale for you. And that's kind of like how I felt. I just felt like it was stale, and I didn't really like having all these heroes that I didn't know what to do with, and I was just constantly confused with what hero to build next. So yeah, I found out that doing mystery shards and focusing on one hero at a time was just the way to go, and I found my calling. I found the way to make this game very tolerable and actually insanely fun. So yeah, if you are a older player and you're getting bored with the game, you're getting pissed off that they do the same nonsense every day, I highly recommend checking out a couple of my videos and seeing what you can do to make that more fun and enjoy the game again. Because you know what the funny part is if you do play this way, more than likely you're going to be playing with heroes you've never played with before because nobody would build, you know, I don't know. Nobody would build Myrmidon over Visix. You know what I mean? Very few people would do something like that. And you're going to have to see those heroes, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, outside of all the things you need to think about, I really do think that the Mystery Shard run is very fun, and it'll keep you engaged for a very long time. I haven't felt like I was bored logging in once over the last year and 3 months. And yeah, here we'll make sure everyone knows that I'm not lying. A year and 3 months daily login rewards. See, we just finished that, and we are doing what is it? The fusions, right? Here we go. Daily login rewards. Here we go. So yeah, we are about to get Scion. So we got here. That's 9 months plus 4 months for Cleo. That gives us 13 months, and then another month is 14 months, right? And then one more month we're in now, so we're in our 15th month. All right, that's it. That's how long we've been playing, and that's 1 year and not even 3 months yet. So 1 year, 2.5 months we've been playing, and I'm not bored at all. And I'm actually super excited to get Scion. You know what I mean? Whereas most people wouldn't be excited about that because they probably have like all these awesome legendaries. Where I get excited about these heroes because I don't have a chance to get them often. So yeah, it's going to make you excited about heroes that you normally wouldn't be. And I think you guys will really enjoy it. So if you have any questions, things you want to talk about, comments, feel free to like, share, subscribe. All that stuff is always good. Trying to get this channel up to 1,000 subs so we can start maybe pushing forward on some new content and getting this channel up and running a little bit better than it has been. It's been doing great so far, and it's been a wild ride. So I hope everyone's enjoying it. All right, so this is what it's like to only pull mystery shards and some things to think about. Not even just for mystery shards, but in general. And this is Mobile Gamer Nerd. And you guys take care.